Everyone loves to glaze all the new hyped up and top tier units, but what about the solid units that went unnoticed? This mindset where fans hate on or just forget about units that aren't perfect on release or lack good partners has caused quite a few units to fly under the radar despite actually being quite good. I am definitely guilty of being one of those fans, so in this video I'm going to pay my respects and go over 10 of the most underrated units in Dokkan history. There are tons of units who could be on this list, so I'm going to choose some older units as well as some newer units to keep things interesting. Starting off with number 10, we've got physical Super Saiyan Gotenks. This guy was actually the side banner unit on STR Gogeta's banner back during the first anniversary. I feel like he didn't really get his moment to shine because of other options at the time, but then again, most people couldn't even pull enough SSRs to fill out a team back then. Luckily, I managed to pull both Gogeta and Gotenks on a reroll account, and I realized that running them together was a great idea. Now, Gotenks isn't just underrated because he was a good partner for Gogeta, but also because of his unique and useful kit at the time. Units that could stun or seal were incredibly valuable during this time period, and Gotenks had the ability to seal with his Galactic Donut Super. The other thing that made him great is the fact that he had a percentage boost rather than a stat boost, allowing him to prevent aging out as quickly. This unit pretty much flew under the radar for most people since Gogeta was all anyone ever cared about. I know Super EZAs are uncommon for side banner units, but I really hope this card gets a second chance in the future because it's one of my favorite units of all time. And on a side note, this is still one of the best SSR arts in my opinion. For number 9, I want to bring up a free-to-play unit that really blew away our expectations, and that unit is PHY Pan. Not only a very unique card, but also a very underrated unit. She had support, damage reduction, healing, and even stun. In 2021, she got an EZA that could have possibly warranted her a spot in my last video about units that were ahead of their time. This EZA came out before red zones were even in the game, and yet she ended up being a very valuable support piece in certain teams when taking on some of the lower to mid tier bosses. She got a lot of hate for not having any defensive buffs in her passive, but with a little support and some decent links or even some items, she could hold her own against some tougher bosses. But for a free to play unit, I think she was completely underrated, and I remember using her a lot back in the day when I had no one better to fill spots on my team. I found her healing very useful, and she was also quite good on the Goku's family team. And if you're enjoying the video so far, go ahead and subscribe since we're almost at 10k and most of my viewers are not subscribed. Anyways, now that we're moving on to number 8, I want to talk about AGL SSJ Blue Goku. I feel like this unit was the slightly less annoying version of Kaioken and Blue Goku. Back when these two released, I always argue with my friend on which of the two was actually better. But looking back on it now, my friend was probably right. No HP sacrifice, essentially the same links and a percentage boost rather than Kaioken Blue's stat boost definitely made this unit an underrated pick for mono AGL teams at the time. This spot was essentially straight from personal experience, but I hope you guys understand why I included this guy. For number 7, we've got TEQ SSJ2 Teen Gohan from the World Tournament reward units. His base card wasn't too crazy, but his EZA was definitely interesting and had a lot of potential. Definitely not the best unit for short fights, but definitely your guy if you're going into something longer. The reason I say that is because this Gohan could permanently stack defense on super. Sadly, with no built-in additionals, you had to rely on the hidden potential system giving you extra supers, which is pretty unlikely. This unit is very cool and had a lot of potential at the time. He also had solid support, making him a great slot 3 or floater unit, offering 3 key and 50% attack and defense to TEQ physical and AGL types. They definitely could have done more with this guy, but unfortunately this tends to be how World Tournament units are treated. My number 6 spot goes to physical SSJ Future Gohan's EZA. This guy is another unit that could have been in my last video about units that were ahead of their time. This EZA came out in late 2021 and was kind of forgotten about since the Future Saga category didn't have a full team yet. I'm sure people knew he was good, but he didn't really have a place until 2023 when Dokkan had its massive worldwide download celebration and Future Saga was the top category in the game. Still, this guy was completely underrated. He had really good damage reduction and some very solid stats. This Gohan could have easily been run on many teams, but most people opted for newer units because it was fun. He may struggle a bit against Murasamasu since he needs to build up, but against the Shadow Dragon event with Omega Shenron, he could definitely hold his own, especially with his type advantage and being fully built up. I think the main reason people didn't run this Gohan was because INT Gohan just got his amazing EZA and LR Future Gohan, who was the best unit in the game, had just come out. I bet you forgot about this next unit since it's a free to play, but I think it definitely deserves a spot on the list. Number 5 is Kid Arale and Goku. This is a card that came out in 2019 and still has no EZA. A lot of people were speculating that this unit would receive an EZA as part of the 10th anniversary celebration, but instead we got the regular Kid Goku, who is an amazing unit that you can't really complain about once you've used him. Anyways, back to Arale and Goku. I think for a 2019 unit, this card was amazing and very easy to grind for. I remember using this unit to beat all the prime battle stages and farm their drops. With Rainbow Orb changing, 30% damage reduction, a nuking passive, and a super attack that seals, this was an amazing unit. This card has tons of potential for an amazing EZA. The main reasons this card was underrated was because it didn't have the best categories and DB Saga units were very rare and not very good. Nowadays, with a good EZA, this unit could be phenomenal on Kid Goku's team and would be the perfect partner for Path to Power Kid Goku. Hopefully the EZA comes comes out soon and they don't ruin this super cool and unique unit. As long as they add some defense, we should be good. For number 4, we've got another super unique unit that many people missed. The card I'm talking about is INT Hit when he got his EZA in 2024. He wasn't an insanely busted EZA, but definitely strong for a sub EZA. He's definitely not a slot 1, but this unit did great as a floater or a slot 2 unit. The coolest part of this unit is that he can attack break enemy actions every time he attacks twice in a turn. This would have been busted if he had any built-in additionals, but they didn't give him that, so unfortunately you gotta rely on the hidden potential system to make use of this ability. This unit is more of a super battle road or even a battle hardened formidable foes type of unit. He's got a bunch of stun built into his kit with a decent 50% chance to dodge and some crit to top it all off. In the end, you gotta choose if you want to get that attack break or to give him full dodge, but I think he's underrated enough to deserve a spot on this list since usually sub EZAs get shafted, but this guy was actually really cool and has potential to save runs. In third place, I've got LR Super Buu. This unit is decent and was actually really good, but with no team or 200% leader, he got completely screwed. Now when he finally does have a team with TEQ Gohan, he is a bit of a weakling simply because he came out so early. He had guard, tons of stats, AoEs, and even built-in additionals. He also gained key and defense for every hit, making 18 key supers easy. And even if it's not worth mentioning, he has the ability to lower defense with his 12 key and to stun with his 18 key. He mostly got hate for his conditional guard when not facing a Majin Buu Saga enemy, and the fact that his entrance animation buff would run out in only 4 turns, but you could pretty much build up the stats before you even lost them if he took enough hits. Second place has to go to the Gammas. Not the TURs, but the LR Gammas. People could accept that they were useful, but never that they were really good. This unit was the perfect floater with amazing support. With 5 INT or SDR orbs, you could have 80% damage reduction once they were fully transformed. The LR Gammas were like the perfect support unit that could hold their own very well in slot 2 or slot 3. I used to doubt their defense, but as time went on, I realized how amazing they were. And for number 1, I would give it to the new LR Goku and Frieza, but I already made a whole video discussing this unit, so if you're interested, go check that out. But here in this video, I'm going to talk about Cell Max and LR Gohan and Piccolo. Cell Max is still probably one of the best tanks in the game. Unfortunately, Super Bosses sucks, and even if Cell can tank, the rest of the team struggles hard. He can still get great usage on Broly's worldwide download celebration team, but they ruined his active skill by not including movie bosses, meaning you won't be able to activate his targeting skill unless you run TEQ Zamasu and AGL LR Broly, who are a bit outdated now. Cell Max is an absolute stat monster, and if Super Bosses make a crazy comeback, he will still be a top pick for the team. LR Gohan and Piccolo on the other hand are super solid if run on the right team. They are both useful in long and short fights because in short fights they can hold on to their 80% damage reduction for most of the fight, and in long battles they have the ability to heal and permanently stack attack and defense on 12 key supers. Even once you exchange with Piccolo, he's got crazy support for allies and 70% damage reduction. The only thing holding back this unit is its links. Honestly, one of the most underrated and most forgotten units in the game. Now, I've also got some honorable mentions. TEQ Vegito Sidebanner EZA for his support back in the day. Oceanus Shenron for his sealing, INT LR Piccolo for his tanking and powerful leader skill, Namek Goku's EZA in Festival of Battles, and yes, even SDR Kaioken Goku since he is literally one of the hardest hitting units in the game when in the right conditions and can tank decently after supering. So there's my list. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.